everyone, and welcome to my July 2023 reading vlog. So far for the month, I have already read one book and I am currently reading another. So the first book that I read was Under the Red Hood, which is a Batman saga about Jason Todd, or the Red Hood, and I gave that one 5 stars. It is a really good story arc in the Batman lore, and I really enjoyed it. It's something that I share with my sibling. We both enjoy Batman, so I was tasked to read Under the Red Hood, and I really enjoyed it. I really liked the story. I really liked the author Judd Winnick's writing style, and I thought that everything was pretty excellent, so that was a 5-star for me. And as for my current read, I finally got around to All's Well by Mona Awad. She is the author of Bunny and a new book coming out called Rouge. And I am 2/3 of the way into All's Well, and I'm really enjoying it so far. This story is about a theater director who has chronic pain issues trying to set up a play for All's Well That Ends Well, a Shakespeare play, and her students are trying to mutiny so they can perform Macbeth. Lots of weird magical realism stuff happens, and the plot gets pretty juicy and is reflecting both plays, both All's Well and Macbeth. I love when books do that, and this book is doing it very well. It's funny, this year I am enjoying books about putting on a play, because I really liked Temper by Elaine Fargo earlier this year, and so far I'm really liking this book, so what a weird change in my interests that I've noticed. I'm almost done the book, as you can see, and it is getting into the usual Mona Awad kooky craziness. If you've read Bunny, then you understand the sort of style, the sort of just wacky stuff going on, and it's very compelling. I am dreading finishing the book. That's how good this is. It's one of those ones where it's making you feel awful in a very good way. So, excellent writing from Mona Awad as per usual, and I will let you know my final thoughts soon. And as for my next few reads, I believe I will be reading the Scott Pilgrim series next, and then I will get to my 100 Epic Reads book, which is, unfortunately, Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. So, yippee! Stay tuned for later updates. Okay, just a quick update. I have finished All's Well by Mona Awad, and I'm giving the book 4 stars. I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed Bunny, but I still really enjoyed this story, and it was just really well written. I could better understand a lot of the more fantastical sequences because I understood both of the Shakespeare plays, and the ending was very satisfying for me. I am very glad with the ending, and I really liked it, and I'm glad that I read it. And next up for this month, I will be reading the complete Scott Pilgrim graphic novels. I loved the movie growing up, and I'm looking forward to going through the graphic novels for the first time. I'm excited to see any of the similarities and the differences between the film and the story, so stay tuned. Just a small update for my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster. I'm currently reading Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I'm about halfway through it, and I'm not enjoying it so much, mostly because it's the same trope of the special is having trouble in his magical school that he's going to, but in the end he always wins and he always has the upper hand because he's just so special. You know, that's a tired trope that I'm sick of. At least this was written decades prior and isn't riding off of the nasty wizard school's coattails. And I do think that it's interesting that despite the story being written in the 80s, it has a lot of modern ideas about like the technology that we have, like computers and tablets and stuff. That's pretty interesting, and I think we actually get a few terms from this novel as well. I could be wrong, but like a lot of the terms that they are using for words are ones that I can like understand, so that's pretty neat as well. I don't think this is going to be a favorite book of mine, especially since the author is a little bit nasty. Can't really push aside those beliefs because they're kind of written in the text. Oh well. And I'm also currently listening to the audiobook of King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett Clair. She writes a lot of random romance things. I read her Hades and Persephone retelling a while ago, and this one had vampires in it, so I thought, why not? I'll try it out. It's the audiobook. It's way easier to listen to romance and fantasy on audiobook because I can just complete other tasks. And so far it is very by the numbers. I am not interested in the characters at all, but I don't think I'm supposed to. I think I'm supposed to just be enjoying the smuttier scenes, but they're very generic. So I think this is just going to be a very mid-read for me, but I'm trying something out. I thought I'd try out another series from her just to see if her other more original stories were better than the myth retelling that she did, which was basically just 50 Shades of Grey with Greek gods. So that's my update for now. I'll let you know my thoughts soon. here we are at my wrap-up. We're going to do this very, very quickly because it is nighttime. The entire month got away from me again. I was incredibly busy. I'm filming this the day before I upload the video, so it's like 10 at night, and this is going to be uploaded at about noon at the end of the month. So I never do this. I'm always days in advance, and I feel very frazzled right now, so let's just get this over with. So I read 9 books this month. My dog is digging now. Anyway, so I read 9 books this month. I read a few of them for the video that I posted earlier in the month, so I'll be very, very brief with those. I read Under the Red Hood by Judd, Winnick et al., which is a Batman comic series about the Red Hood, or Jason Todd, and I gave that one 5 stars because I just thought it was very incredible and well done, and I really liked the character of Jason Todd. I then read the entire Scott Pilgrim vs. the World comic book series, which I'm only counting as one book, but I do count each volume's pages in my final wrap-up, and I'm giving that whole series 4 stars. I thought it was very well done, and I liked that there was a lot of additions that they weren't able to do in the movie, as well as the ending being totally different from the movie because they are being written around the same time. I really, really enjoyed all the Canadian references, I liked the art, and I enjoyed the humor a lot. I then read All's Well by Mona Awad, and I'm giving this book 4 stars. While it isn't the 5-star that Bunny was, I think that this was an excellent third novel. I really, really enjoyed it, and I normally don't like play books about theater and plays, until this year when I've read 2 that I've really enjoyed, and this is one of them. So it seems like my tastes are changing for the better, so maybe when I hear the synopsis of a book is about them putting on a play or being in theater, I'll check it out instead of ignoring it, because the 2 books I've read this year so far have really got me excited for books about plays, even though I'm not a huge fan of them. Anyway, 4 stars for this book, very well written, I highly recommend it. My poster read for the month was Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I believe I gave this one 3 stars. It is an alright sci-fi novel, but I just cannot get over the author's views and just sort of that bad energy that came along with it. There was a lot of bad written into the novel itself as well. Those views can't really escape the fiction that he writes, and I'm not going to continue the series. I then listened to the audiobook of Battle of King and Blood by Scarlett Clair. It is the story of a vampire marrying a human girl for political reasons and them realizing that they're a reincarnated love of each other. I hate that trope. I hate you, Dark Shadows. I gave that one 1 star, maybe 1.5. I can't remember. It's just not very good. I then read a short story compilation called Vampires the First Blood, The Vampire Ladies by James Grant Golden, and I gave that one 3 stars. I typically give short story collections 3 stars. There was only one short story that I really, really enjoyed in it. The rest of them were all either things that I've already read before, like Carmilla, Dracula's Guest, Phantoms, or just poems that kind of bleed together in my mind. I am, at the moment, just not a poem person. I don't enjoy poetry very much, but it was an interesting collection of all the possible female vampires that have existed before the release of Dracula, so if you are interested in that, I highly recommend you check out this short story collection. I then read the book The Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty, which is a pirate fantasy novel about this female captain, and she runs a crew. She has a daughter, she's retired, and she's brought back into the, piracy thing because she's looking for a kidnapped girl and a magical object. There's a lot going on. There's monsters, there's demons, there's the spirit world, there's really good adult female rep, adult pirate rep, and Muslim rep, which is really interesting. I gave that book 3 stars. It was very, very enjoyable, but I don't know if I'll continue the trilogy. It just didn't really capture my attention enough, and I think as a standalone, I'm satisfied with what I read. I then read this graphic novel that my mother gifted me. It's called Carmilla, the First Vampire by Amy Chu and Sue Lee. This is a modern, I think it's the 90s, retelling of Carmilla set in New York, and it features Asian lesbian rep, and the art is very, very pretty. It's very, comic book-esque, and I really enjoyed all the colors. I thought that it was a very good deep dive into New York life and understanding poor people, people addicted to drugs, queer people, Asian people, etc. Very, very interesting stuff, and I liked the turn that the story took.
because it's different from the original novel, obviously, and it was really, really cool. So please check this out. This was an awesome read. I don't know if I said it, I give it 4 stars. And I finished out the month by reading Mad Love by Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. Mad Love is the origin story of the Batman character Harley Quinn and her falling in love with the Joker and becoming the titular villain. There were also a few short story comic things after the story, so I read those as well. They were in Bruce Timm's art style for the most part, and it was very much Batman the Animated Series, which is one of my favorite iterations of Batman, and I was really glad that I read it because I was really interested in Harley Quinn's story, and I just really, really enjoyed it, so that one got a 5-star for me. I started the month with Batman, and I am ending the month with Batman. Once again, busy, busy month. I am entirely scatterbrained. I'm off schedule. I feel terrible. It's just been a really crappy end of the month, despite all the interesting things that I've done this month. I feel like I'm probably burnt out, and I read so much. Now I'm just like, ugh, like I'm tired, and I just don't know what will capture my attention reading-wise next month. So stay tuned for that. Maybe I can get my groove back as the weather cools down. Thank you so much for watching. Despite all the craziness, I promise to level things out as soon as possible. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.